is min as-sayyi'ati from sayyi'as. Sayyi'as, sin. Hasana, rewardable act. You know the verse. Sayyi'at in Quran. Sayyi'at, sayyi'at, plural. Whatever is there from sins, from bad acts, duna shirki, except shirk. Duna is mudaf, shirk is mudafun ilayh. Well, kufri. And also kufr. Whatever is there from any sin, anything bad, which is excluding, except shirk, except kufr. Shirk you know, kufr you know. وَلَمْ يَتُبْ عَلَيْهَا صاحبها. وَلَمْ يَتُبْ, did not do tawbah. توبة توبة يتوب تاب تيب يتوب يتاب يتوب when lam comes لم يتوب waw disappears because two seconds does not come together. لم يتوب did not do توبة عنها from that صاحبها its doer of that act. Any bad thing except shirk and kufr, which is there, and the person who was involved in that did not do tawbah, repentance. You know the tawbah. Hatta mata, until did not do tawbah, did not do, hatta until mata, died. I mean, up to his death, he was sinner, too many sins, except shirk, except kufr. He didn't do tawbah, hatta until mata, he died, mabata mata. Mu'minan as mu'min. Mu'min is hal. Hal are mansub. Hals are mansub. Hal mansub, maf'ul mansub, you know. مفعول به صريح غير صريح من غير مفعول له مفعول are منصوب. تمييز is منصوب. مؤمنا, if a person dies as mu'min but he was sinner before, except and he did not do any tawbah, sinner except the sin of shirk and فَإِنَّهُ, he definitely, now the answer, that person is في مشيئة الله, in the مشيئة of Allah. مشيئة شاء, will, شاء الله, will, مشيئة الله تعالى. It is in the hand of the Allah's مشيئة. مشيئة. We'll explain what that means a little bit. And if Sha'a, he wants, Allah, عذبه, he will do azab. عذب عذب يعذب يعذبه بالنار, with fire. He is sinner, he died as a sinner, but he didn't do any tawbah. And he died as a mu'min. Iman. وَإِنْ شَاءَ, if Allah wants, عَفَى وَعَفُوا, فعل ناقص, forgives, عَفَى عنه, from him. وَلَمْ يُعَذِّبْهُ, does not do ta'zib, azab, to him, بالنار, with fire, asla, ever, never, ever. Yes. So, what the book says, very important. Anybody, no matter how sinner he was, and did not do any tawbah, except shirk and kufr. He dies as a mu'min. Because he dies as a mu'min, that means he is not mushrik. He is not kafir. That is the meaning of it. Because when it becomes a mushrik, shirk, kufr, no iman. So, Allah, the person is left into the mashiyatillah, the will of Allah, the mashiyah of Allah. Mashiyah of Allah, he is left like that. If he wants Allah, he will torture him or put him azab justly. If he wants, he will forgive him with not to azab. So what is the key? Iman. Death with Iman. Okay. Sentence finished. Riya'u. A new sentence. Riya'. What is Riya'? Ra'aya. What is the word Riya' grammatically? Nasir Effendi, Abdul Nasir. Ah! Very good. This guy is deep something hidden. Shovel from deep. Ra'aya, ra'aya, ru'iya, yura'iyu, yura'ayu, ra'i, mura'atun, riya'un, riya'un. Is riya' is so ra'aya, to see. Ra'aya, to see like watch each other or to see each other mutual. Riya, in specific religious meaning, is show off. Doing things for show off, not for the sake of Allah. Okay. It is mentioned many times in Quran. الَّذِينَ هُمْ يُرَاءُونَ فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ يُرَاءُونَ رَأَيَ رَأَيَ رُؤِيَ يُرَائِيُ يُرَائِيَانِ يُرَائِيُونَ يُرَاءُونَ. Hail to the people who pray namaz to Riya. That is big disease. That is big disease. وَالرِّيَاءُ رِيَاء إِذَا وَقَعَ, when it happens, occurs, وَقَعَ, في عمل, in an action, act, deed, من الأعمال, from act. When a riya happens in any act, among the acts, فإنه, that riya يبطل, nullifies, voids, بطل, void, باطل, أبطل, transitive, أبطل, أبطل, يبطل, يبطل, يبطله, يبطله, يبطل, announce, makes batil, invalid, ajrahu, ajr of that thing. What is ajr? Reward. Ajr. Ajr. When riya takes place in any amal, from any amal, that amal, that riya destroys, announce, nil, zero of ajr of that amal. This kalam, this is ilm al-kalam, ilm al-tawheed, all are like maxims, like proverbs. Expand. in the books, like maxims. But this is the building block of Ummah's Iman and way of thinking. Way of thinking. I pity youth in America. I pity Muslims. I pity. I don't think understand people run around Sunnah, Kitab Sunnah. What Kitab Sunnah, ya akhi? Kitab Sunnah is so big word. What is it? Come down. It is, I cannot go out Kitab Sunnah up. Why are we abusing these words? Come down. Tell me my step. Youth steps. What Kitab Sunnah? Kitab and Sunnah, these are so general. Obey the laws. Like something like that. Which law? There are hundreds of laws. I don't know them. Tell me. Come down to my level. Say my step. My step. Ummah, we have big problems. Ummah does not understand. Even if they understand, does not know how to come out from this malaise, from this confusion. Not this. I'm telling you.
I have a question, Dr. A lot of the converted brothers, they tell me that they don't, because since they are not from a Muslim country or background, they don't follow any mazhab or school of thought, and they directly follow Quran and Sunnah. So, right.
It is big issue. That is big issue. So, I wish they could follow Quran and Sunnah, knowingly all Sunnah, all Quran. I don't think they are also following mazhab, but they don't know. Many people say, I don't follow mazhab. Mazhab is like culture. You cannot live without mazhab because it is so general. You don't know Quran. How can you know? How can anybody knows from Quran? Just Quran. You are Muslim. You study Quran. You will raise your hand. This much, this much, this much, this much, this much, or this much, or this much, or. How do you know? Can you know? Can you understand this from Quran? No, you cannot understand. From ulama, this mazhab. Ulama's interpretation, that is mazhab. Mazhab does not have horn. You need to discover it is there yourself. People who deny mazhab, they are in the mazhab, immersed, drowned in the mazhab. They speak that way. They speak that way because a person cannot live without mazhab. If he is religious, he is practicing something based on knowledge. That is his mazhab. If a person sometimes is doing something, sometimes he is confused. He doesn't know what he is talking, what he is doing. Which one is the best? He doesn't know. He imitates others. That person, new Muslims, are imitating the one who see around. That is the case. Not knowing. I don't think a new Muslim would know whole Quran, whole Hadith, and things like that. No. Anyhow. Okay, Bismillah. 20, page 20. 2/3 gone of the book. 2/3. Yes, 2/3 of the book finished. 31 pages. Okay. وَكَذَلِكَ, likewise, where you put where, make where, that is wow. Where, وَكَذَلِكَ, it is likewise, like, ذَلِكَ, that, but it is made one word. كَذَلِكَ, does in English. T-H-U-S. In the translation, people use like that, but that is old version. Yusuf Ali uses like that. وَكَذَلِكَ, like that, it is like that. What? Al-Ujbu, Ujbu. Ujbu. Ujbu, ghurur. Ujb and ujbu, wa in Persian. Ujb, wa, ghurur. Ujbu, ghurur. Together. What is ghurur and ujb? Deception. 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 You deceive yourself. Pride, another word. Vanity. Vanity in English, another word. Feeling themselves so happy, really they are not that. So proud, they are not really somebody who needs to be proud. He must sit and cry on his situation, but doesn't know. Quran says, وَلَا يَغُرْنَنَّكَ, let not deceive, غَرَّ, غُرُور, غَرَّ. Billahi, with Allah, al-gharur, deceiver, shaitan, gharur, gharur shaitan, in that case. Let shaitan not deceive you with Allah or something, like you are doing. Ujb, like self-esteem in English. Self-esteem. Proud. Pride. I had always problems. Still I have problems. We tell Muslims self-esteem. Students must have self-esteem. Children must have self-esteem. Is it correct, or self-esteem is good or bad? I asked these two pastors. I said, I'm not specialized, but this self-esteem thing or pride thing, tell me, is that something good? Everybody is saying, oh, of course it is strong self-esteem and self-esteem. Is it something always good, or there is good one, there is bad one? I am confused. What is its equivalent in Islam? Self-esteem. If it is ujb, no good. If it is ikhtiyar, muhtalin fakhur in Quran, no good. If it is iftikhar fakhur in Quran, no good. So there is riyah, show, but there is somebody admires himself. Really, I like myself. How nice I am doing. How well I did something like that. In his heart, this is ujb. This is ujb. Difficult to differentiate from other things. وَكَذَلِكَ, likewise is what? Al-ujbu ujbu. Ujbu also destroys ajr of that act. You know, in Sufism, somebody goes to Murshid, real Sufism. The person is trained, Shaykh Murshid, before. So this guy has big ego, very proud. So he makes mate, go clean the bathroom. This guy, what are you talking about? I can take wali, governor somewhere. No governor. No governor here. In this home, in this way, in this technique. Cleanse the bathroom. Then the guy waits at the door, shivering after cleaning. Go buy some meat, liver something which you bring with your hand, walking in the street. Everybody will see you. There is a technique like that. Why? Because you are, your ego, your ujba, in your side needs to be clean. I need to be clean. Otherwise you will destroy my teacher, my school, my murid, my people. You don't deserve. You don't deserve to be a part of this program. I need to crush technique. I met people who were not in that line before. They were like fire. Then some years later I met them like cotton. I said, what happened? He said, somebody cooked me, somebody shaved me, somebody grabbed me, somebody put me, somebody turned me to this stage. I said, this is وَكَذَلِكَ الْعُجْبُ عُجْبُ destroys ajr of the act. Okay, sentence finished. New sentence. Now we are coming to miracles. Prophets, saints, awliya, karamat, extraordinary things happening to the people. Kuffar, non-Muslims, kafirs, also could do miracles. We will see here. So, miracles are we going to deny? Accept? What is miracle? Al-hawadis fawq al-'ada. Hawadis, happening. Hadis, something happening. Hadasa, happening. Plural. Hawadis. Hadis, hawadis. Hadisun, hadisatun, hadisatani, hadisataini, hadisatun, hawadisu, ismul fa'il. فوق العادة, فوق, above. عادة, normal, tradition. فوق العادة, extraordinary, extra, فوق, ordinary. Exact translation. Things extraordinary. Metaphysics, you may say. Meta, beyond, meta, Latin, same thing. Latin or Greek. I may mix two things with two languages. So, same thing. Now we are coming to that subject. This is a new subject. There is no dot. There is no full stop. But finish this sentence. Well, ayatu, ayat, plural of ayatun. Ayat means verse of Quran, but signs. But here, miracles. Because in Quran, ayah in many places means miracles. In Quran. This is which century? 2nd century of Islam. When did he die? 150. 2nd century of Islam. That's Arabic. By the way, Imam Azam Abu Hanifa was not Arab. He is not Arab. Bukhari is not Arab. Pezdevi is not Arab. Sarasi is not Arab. But they wrote in Arabic. How these people? How did they manage? I don't know. I don't know.
Which century is Bukhari?
Bukhari is in the 3rd century of Islam, 200 plus. Bukhari is late. Imam Azam is before Bukhari. People say, Bukhari hadith is like that. Oh, mashallah, very good. Alhamdulillah. What about his teacher level, Abu Hanifa? No good. How people are confused. Salaf. Salaf, 1st century, 1st generation, 2nd generation, 3rd generation. 2nd generation, Abu Hanifa never counts, never considered as a Salaf. Never considered. I Salafis. No. We have a lot of issues to be solved in the hereafter, not here. We cannot solve it here. But over there, in armchair in the corner, I will have sip coffee and watch what is happening. I want to know the deep inside the story. inside? Yes, I want to know. I am very interested. وَالْآيَاتُ آيَات. That mu'jizat, miracles. ثابتة is fixed, is there. ثبت, ثبت, يثبت, يثبت, ثبوت. This is very, very, very good word. Thubut means fixed. Thubut means is there. Thubut means proven. Thubut means reality. So sabata, thubut. When ayatu ayat, ayas, which mu'jiza, miracle, sabitatun are there. Are there, fixed. They are there. Before al-Anbiya prophets. Mu'jizas are sabitatun lil-Anbiya. Al-Mu'jizatu sabitatun lil-Anbiya. That is the meaning. In the sharh inside you see وَالْآيَاتُ أَيِ الْمُعْجِزَاتُ. L is not, print is not, elif, lam is not there, but at the bottom mim is mu'jizatu, mu'jizat. A means oh. That is explanation. وَالْآيَاتُ آيَات ثَابِتَةٌ are fixed, are there للأنبياء for أنبياء. أنبياء plural of Nabi. Okay, prophet. والكرامات كرامات are for للأولياء for أولياء. We don't use the word mu'jiza for awliya, other than prophets. What awliya has done or did, that is same category karama. Mu'jiza and karama is the same. Nature-wise, they are supernatural, extraordinary, فوق العادة. But if it is done by the Prophet, شق القمر, 2, moon. Hence the Prophet did like that, water flew in the cup. And speaking stones, mu'jiza. Isra Mi'raj, mu'jiza. A lot of mu'jiza. Quran is mu'jiza. Literary mu'jiza. Kalami mu'jiza. These are all for prophets. But mu'jiza is also, or mu'jiza or miracle, is to be done. Could be done by good people of Allah, awliya. Ela inna awliya Allah. Allah's will is la khawfun, there is no khawf, fear, وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ, they don't feel any sorrow. Friday before noon, my lecture, there was a hadith. لا يزال عبدي يتقرب إلي بالنوافل. My servant becomes nearer and nearer. This hadith Qudsi, إن الله تعالى يقول, and at the end I become it. حتى أن أكون سمعه الذي يسمع به وبصره. I become his seeing, his ear. He sees with my seeing. He hears with my hearing. He touches with a person, a human being. What is that? Of course, awliya in India, because culture in the Pakistan, Bangladesh, in awliya, why is mentioned awliya, what? I don't mean that awliya. I mean real awliya. Where is it? You show me. I am looking for that as well. But the book is the book. Knowledge is knowledge. Abu Hanifa said. Okay. وَالْكَرَامَاتُ لِلْأَوْلِيَاءِ حَقٌّ is haq. This word haq is true. No deniable. Nobody must deny. وَالْكَرَامَاتُ لِلْأَوْلِيَاءِ حَقٌّ. وَأَمَّا الَّتِي as to أما التي that تكون happens becomes لأعدائه عدو أعداء for enemy, Allah's enemy. Anything which, any miracle extraordinary which happens comes out for the enemies, by the enemies of Allah, like Fir'aun, like Nimrod, struggled with Ibrahim alayhi salam, Fir'aun, Musa, Pharaoh, Musa alayhi salam, okay? Anything which happens, which could happen, the book says, misla what? Misla like, Iblisu Iblis, Iblis Shaitan, وفرعون فرعون والدجال دجال, Antichrist in English. How much it is the same I don't know, but you just do research. I'm not interested in that. Dajjal. People have these feelings of Dajjal, last days of science, and they become like paranoia, panic. I have no interest in that. I mean, I live here and there. Why people are that much rushy, that much panic? Happens. Does not happen. I mean, people are waiting Dajjal, waiting other things. Isa alayhi salam, Mahdi or Isa. I mean, at the life of the Prophet, 100 years ago. His Sahaba was, some of them were shaky. This is, we don't know how many thousands of years later it will happen. We don't know. Nobody knows. This is future. But it is true, will happen. So really, I'm not that much in that area. أما as to التي that تكون happens لأعدائه for the أعداء الله, for the enemies, to the enemies of Allah, مثل like إبليس مثل is مضاف, إبليس is مضاف إليه. وفرعون it is فرعوني, but فرعون غير منصرف. والدجال دجال Antichrist. Okay? فما that روية رواية narrated is narrated في الأخبار in خبر, in hadith. خبر news, but hadith also means khabar. Khabar means hadith. Whatever is told, narrated in the literature, in hadith, in the books. I mean, sentence did not finish. We are continuing. Okay. Inna, whatever is said, annahu, that, kana, was, happened in the past. وَيَكُونُ is happening, happens. لَهُ for them. Past sentence. Whatever is happening to the enemies of Allah, like Iblis, like Firaun, like Dajjal, and continuing sentence, half sentence. Whatever is was narrated, riwayat, in the khabars, that it was happened in the past for the enemies of Allah and happens now. ليكونوا. Answer, sentence. لا, not نسمي, name. سمي, اسم, بسم الله. سمي, سمي, يسمي, يسمي. يسمي, يسمي, يعني نسمي. We name. لا نسمي, we don't name. لا نسميها, them, that. You don't name that. Ayatin as ayat. We don't name as ayat. Whatever kuffar is happening to kuffar, extraordinary thing, we don't say they are ayat, mu'jizat. Wala karamatin. Neither karamat. We don't say it is karamat. Whatever is happening extraordinary, supernatural, to the enemies of Allah, Firaun and others, happened and would happen, could happen. We don't use the terms of ayat for them. We don't use karamat for them. Walakin, but, نسميها, we name them. We name them قضاء حاجاته. حاجة, need. حاجات, plural, their need. قضاء, fulfillment. Allah is fulfilling their desires, their needs, their حاجات, their حاجات.
You said the word qada is the same word for the salah that we offer. Qada.
Yes, same, qada. Yeah, qada has a lot of meanings. One is to make up the prayer, qada. Second, decision, qadi, decision maker, judge. Qada, destiny. Qada, to fulfill, to execute. It has 4, 5, 6 meanings. So here, Allah is fulfilling their needs. We will come to that. We are coming. Explanation. وَذَلِكَ, that is that. So extraordinary things may happen by enemies of Islam could do. That is not mu'jiza, that is not ayat, that is not karamah. What is that? قَضَاءُ حَاجَاتِهِمْ. Allah is fulfilling their desires. وَذَلِكَ, that is because Allah Ta'ala يقضي, fulfills, executes, حاجات, desires, حاجات أعدائه, enemies. Allah fulfills the desires of enemies. Allah's enemy fulfill. Let them finish everything, whatever quota, whatever they ask fully. Muslims request Allah, Allah does not accept, suffer. Kafir request this much, Allah gives more to kafir. Why? Let them finish all whatever they want. Let them have no excuse at the day of judgment. There is an ayah. يُعْرَضُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا عَلَى النَّارِ. Kafirs will be exposed to nar, يُعْرَض. Will be told, أَذْهَبْتُمْ ذَهَبَ أَذْهَبَ. You made go. طَيِّبَاتِكُمْ, good things. You finished your good things في حياة الدنيا. واستمتعتم بها. You benefit. What are you? They will be crying, asking. One request. What one request? We gave you more. All your request finished. But Muslims' request never finishes here. It is good for his future, Muslims' future. Suffering is good for Muslims' future. Why Ummah is suffering? Suffering is good for Muslims, Muslim Ummah. Different. And way of thinking must be different. Must be different. So this is what it says. Allah fulfills their needs. What for? Istidrajan lahum. This word is very important. Istidraj. Jim fall far away. This is print. It is one word. Istidrajan lahum. Daraja, degree. The word degree is Arabic. Degree. Daraja. Same word, same meaning, same, but G changed to Arabic Jim, daraja. Last word, daraja, came into digger, G, in the middle, came into middle. But D is there, R is there, but changed the letters in the middle. Degree, daraja. Istadraja, ustudrija. Yestadriju, yustadriju, istidrajun, making grade, daraja, grade. Istidraj, step by step, bringing up, bringing high, grade, up, steps, up. Istidraj, ala, daraja. But this word has specific meaning in Quran, in Istidraj, giving kuffar more what they desire so that they may do more sin, and entangled into sin, no cleaning, guys like that. سنستدرجهم in Quran. سنستدرج وأملي لهم إن كيدي وأملي, we will give time لهم, to them, إن كيدي, my trick, my tactic, Metin is very strong, Allah is saying. سنستدرجهم, with future, نستدرج, we are making istidraj, them. من حيث, the way, لا يعلمون, they don't know. So this is mentioned in the Quran. Istidraj. Istidraj, a good term. In my interview with the assistant, and we are going to get a quality person, we ask, what is istidraj? I mean, if he is literary guy, he will know this istidraj, this word. If he reads the book, this word, explain istidraj. I mean, there are key words. When you ask, you understand that person's, what is around, this is a different concept. So, istidrajan lahum, Allah will do this istidraj lahum for them, kuffar, وعقوبة لهم, وعقوبة, punishment, عقاب, عقبة, عقوبة, لهم, for them, so that فيغترون, غلبة, اغترب, اغتر, فيغترون, اغترب اغترب يغترب فيغترون with shadda, ra is shadda, not gharaba, gharra. فيغترون, they become deceived. Gharra, to deceive somebody else. But اغتر, to be affected by deception. اغتر, اغتر, يغتر, يغتر, فيغترون, they will be deceived, they will be influenced by deception, به with that, kafirs. ويزدادون, they will increase. زيادة, 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 ازديادة, ازداد, ازديادة, ازداد, ازداد, ازديد, يزداد, يزداد. ازديادة, turns to dal, double افتعال. ازداد, ازديد, يزداد, يزداد, يفتعل, يزداد. يزدادوا, يزدادان, يزدادون, they will increase. Kuffar. Increase in what? طغيانا, rebellious, rebel. طغيان. Somebody wrote here earlier, it is erased. ولا تطغوا في الأرض مفسدين, ولا تطغوا. طغيان. طغيان, disobedience to Allah, arrogantly, mischievously, rebelliously acting against Allah's wish. طغيانا, the kufra, and disbelief. So that these non-Muslims, Allah gives them more, istidraj, so that they may be deceived themselves and punished, and they increase more and more. طغيان and kufr. طغيان have a kufra in Quran. طغيان, disobedience and becoming kafir. وذلك, that, كله, all, جائز, جائز, ممكن, possible. So this is mumkin and possible. This is mumkin, possible. Probable, possible, mumkin. So Allah gives kuffar extraordinary things, istidrajan, uqubatan, so that they may be influenced by deception, they may get increased in disobedience and in kufr. وذلك, this, كله, all, جائز, is jaiz. It is there. Mumkinun, possible. I will conclude here. Okay, inshallah. So, next Saturday we don't have a class, but Tuesday